So what exactly is going on in these beautiful cliffs? Well, 270 million years of formation to create this awesomeness. These different beautiful layers, these are indicative of the types of environment that existed over the millennia. This area is actually pretty near the equator hundreds of millions of years ago. And that was one of the reasons why sometimes it had a tropical environment. Well, sometimes it was arid, totally desert-like. Sometimes there was an inland sea in here. Sometimes it was very marshy and just meandering rivers. Also, we got to think about sedimentation layers. That's one of the coolest things about this area, is that you can really see the sedimentation layers. Sedimentation layers, sedimentary rock. Think about a body of water, a lake. You know, there's going to be some settling, particulate matter. The things that have died and whatnot are going to start accumulating some lake bed of all that material, right? Once the water goes away, now you have this layer of accumulated stuff, and it can harden into rock of whatever was in that lake at that time. It's not always from bodies of water, but oftentimes it was. We have the Carmel Formation. This was laid down about 170 million years ago. This was mostly limestone and mudstone with some sandstone, siltstone. There were some marine organisms here, these bryozoans. Dinosaur footprints have been found in there. Imagine a big dinosaur stepping in the mud, and then it starts to harden. And then if you have some layer of sediment above that hardened footprint, it can protect that layer for millions of years. And then if that layer above the footprint gets eroded away, and boom, now you got a dinosaur footprint, and then somebody's walking along and be like, whoa, check that out, a footprint from 100 million years ago, that's crazy. This layer was laid down because it was the edge of the Sundance Sea. So what was the Sundance Sea? It was a body of water that made the sun dance? I'd like to think so, but not quite. Basically, as sea levels rose and fell, some water from the Arctic Ocean would come south. So around 150, 200 million years ago, in the Jurassic period, the Sundance Sea was a branch of the Arctic Ocean that came south, in western U.S., western Canada, all the way down toward the Colorado Plateau. All right, so Navajo Sandstone, yeah, this is beautiful rock. These are huge sand dunes that harden. They're white to light pink colored, and the differences in colors are due to the differences in groundwater. So these dunes were underground, they were buried. And sometimes you get some red in the sand dune, sandstone. That's because there's some iron oxide mixed in there, just like the Mars, red planet. If you have iron, you can get rust. Next, below the Navajo Sandstone is the Cayenneta Formation. This was laid down around 200 million years ago, and this is a thinner, dark, broken layer with ledges, sandstone, shale, and limestone. So yeah, what exactly is limestone? You know the song, like a limestone cow. Wait, nope, like a rhinestone cowboy, never mind. No, but seriously, what is limestone? Limestone is some cool rock. It comes from marine environments. So seawater has a little bit of calcium carbonate in it, and marine organisms will use that, such as clams, oysters, mussels, and coral will use that calcium carbonate in the water to create their shells and bones. Pretty interesting. And so when they die, that stuff settles at the bottom of the seawater, and the water creates a lot of pressure, and it just starts accumulating at the bottom. And once the water goes away, you have a thick layer of calcium carbonate that's settled, and it hardens the rock, and there you go, sedimentary rock that is made of calcium carbonate. Something that's interesting is you can test rock to see if it's limestone by putting some hydrochloric acid on it, or vinegar, and it will start to bubble if it's limestone because some carbon dioxide gas is formed. So yeah, that'd be cool to go out sometime with some hydrochloric acid or vinegar and do the test and be like, oh yeah, bubbled, there it is, limestone, baby. Then below the Cayenneta, we have the Mojave. This was a little over 200 million years ago. This is siltstone and sandstone. It was formed on Limestone Formation. And there's an unconformity of about 10 million years. So an unconformity is when there's some missing rock. Like at some point there was a sedimentary rock that is no longer there, not really sure why it's gone. Now, then you have the Chinle below that. This was 200 some million years ago from sediment from rivers and streams, lakes, wetlands, and windblown debris. And then finally at the very bottom, the Moenkopi. This was laid down around 240 million years ago. Sandstone, mudstone, and shale with some limestone.